So you've got to try and create yourself and make yourself in such a position that you are indispensable. So you want someone to smile at you. Why don't you smile at someone first? You want someone to be kind to you. Why don't you be kind to someone first?
Way, because without family you're nothing. So family is every basis. How can you be a blessing to someone else today? I do believe that we'd make this world a much better place.
Hello and welcome. It is Sisters Talk with Seven Smart. It is the program dedicated to inspiring and empowering women. Gone are the days when our mothers used to get married in their late teens, early 20s. Nowadays, our generation follow a trend of getting married in their late 20s, 30s, and even 40s. We can blame this on a lot of factors, but it doesn't take away the fact that pressures are being mounted from loved ones, acquaintances, and sometimes strangers. Now that brings us to our topic of the day, the African woman and the pressures of being married on or before 30. Welcome on board, people. It's time to meet my guests. As African women, do we have a choice in the matter?
Absolutely. I don't see why women shouldn't
Have choices.
Mm-hmm. We should have choices. If we didn't have choices, I promise you there would be a lot of frustration going on, because how do you have a woman who is educated, maybe even up to a master's degree, she's thinking about getting a PhD, and then you insist that she marry somebody who barely left secondary school with a certificate? And in many of these situations where they're putting so much pressure and the only guys around are these people, and it's not maybe he's not working, maybe he doesn't have a job, maybe he's not business minded, so they're just
It's so complicated.
They're just hoping that he will marry you and you will change his life. But what happens to your own life? And I'm not saying this is the case for everybody. I'm just saying this is like worst case scenario for a woman who is educated and is succumbing to pressure.
Ifueko, do you have a different thoughts from this?
Since we're talking about choice,
Yeah.
I do believe every individual has their own choices, and I think what is paramount to everybody should be their own happiness, and
True,
not
that's true.
that
Exactly.
of others. So I don't think it's the pressure is good when it's going to make you drop what you would choose for yourself, really. And I agree with her. And the choice could be that somebody who is a PhD holder will decide maybe the other thing she sees is the guy that she chooses to marry. That should be her choice. Mm-hmm. And I think as a people, we need to come to the realization that it could also be a woman's choice not to even be married.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think we have come to this stage where everybody should know who they are.
Why do I feel like I can see some mothers going, oh no, that's my child.
Well,
that's my child.
Yes. Personally, I would like to be married, but you have to realize that everybody is not the same, and some people will have other choices, and maybe they are hiding what would be their first choice because of what other people would say. I think as a society we need to evolve to the point where if this is somebody else's choice, we should let them be. They'll probably be happier people. I don't see the point in being married if you're not going to be happy being married, because your unhappiness is going to translate to everybody else in your family.
I think that we should open the discussion, about women just saying they don't want to get married. The truth is, there are lots of guys.
Mickey, I'm gonna stop you there and go on a break first because you're coming up to a place where it becomes a question of, are we ready, society-wise, for such a topic? Really, are we ready for that stuff? Because you're saying women should have a choice and not get married.
If that's what they want.
If that's what they want, but the question is society ready for that? Welcome back. It is Sisters Talk with Seven Smart. We've been talking about the African woman and the pressures of being married on or before 30. Now, before we went on the break, Mickey raised up a very interesting topic. A topic I'm not particularly sure if society is ready, but I think it's about that time they should be ready. Should women honestly have a choice, in deciding whether to get married or not? You know, do you think society is ready really for that?
I feel that it's not even about being ready. We just have to have the conversation, simply because there are people in Nigeria, there are women in Nigeria who do not want to get married, or who at some point in time in their lives have said, you know what, I don't want to be married anymore, if they're already married, you know. And you know, who's to say that someone who says she doesn't want to be married can change her mind? She should be able to change her mind and say, okay, now I want to get married, and it shouldn't be an issue. The truth is, there are lots of men who are chronic bachelors, and people in society sort of say, hey,
they partially accept it, really.
See this guy, he has many girlfriends, you know, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And if it's a woman,
It's
immediately the morality police is on her case. How can you be, you know,
single at this age
and you're still single? Immediately there's an imposition of a certain kind of morality, you know, on a woman because she's single. So they immediately assume that if you are single, you must be loose, you must be a loose woman, or you sleep around. So what?
Do you know that, Mickey? Okay, two things I want to bring out from this conversation. I think that it's not even as much as, yes, we say society. Even women, I have noticed that we like to hide behind this wall, this shield, you know, and we don't honestly, we're too bothered about what other people think. And so we don't exactly say how we feel it, or, you know, trash up what somebody else is saying, which conflicts completely with what we believe in.
It's a very interesting situation, but the way I think about it is that it boils down to our our sense of identity.
Self-worth.
Not really self-worth, but identity. So let me give you an example. We are Nigerian women, right?
Yes.
There is the idea of what a Nigerian woman is. Also, a Nigerian woman is shapely, a Nigerian woman knows how to cook, a Nigerian woman is respectful, a Nigerian woman gets married at a certain age, she does X, Y, Z. Those are the kinds of expectations that, you know,
we are bound around.
That's the idea of what a Nigerian woman is, or who a Nigerian woman is. But a Nigerian woman at the end of the day is an individual. You understand? She's not this image that we have. It's a fiction. You know, but it's a fiction that we believe and that we perpetuate. So if I, for example, I'm living a lifestyle that doesn't follow the idea of who a Nigerian woman is, if another woman is living that ideal and she sees you, and it begins to confront her own sense of identity. Do you understand? It begins to question her own sense of identity, and so she will put pressure on you to behave in the way that is a Nigerian woman, because she knows you're a Nigerian woman, but they are behaving in a way that is not what a Nigerian woman is supposed to behave, and so it causes a conflict in her own sense of identification as a Nigerian woman. So it's a very tricky thing, and that's why I always like to tell people that, you know, if another woman comes at you, take a step back and ask yourself, where is she coming from? It's not because women don't like each other. It's because our sense of identity has been tied to, you're this person's daughter, then you become this person's wife, then you become this person's mother. It's never about you being yourself. You are daughter of, wife of, mother of. And then if you have somebody else who is living a full life outside of those identifiers, it can cause conflict.
Okay, in moving forward, because I'm sure some people, now you've created like two different umbrellas. Some people are under this umbrella, you know, who already have identified what their self-identity is. On the positive note, time was hard. And then some people are under this umbrella, you know, bound by the supposed illusion of what is expected of them, even if it's not, it shouldn't ideally be the picture. In terms of making life choices, because this pressures on or before 30 or being married is all about making lifelong choices. And I do know that a lot of women have made choices. Some are dead because they've been beating black, blue, blue, black, white, yellow, any other color you can play around with. Some are currently not in their homes because they're having to squat somewhere else. It's all sort of situation, really, because we made the wrong choices, Now, these women here on this umbrella will understand their self-identity and self-worth. To a large extent, we can draw back and not completely reach out to them yet. But I want us to reach out to these women, because sometimes, as sisters, our code on the show is that we empower, we inspire, and we love. They need to draw back. They need to be inspired. Sometimes they don't know, because all they know is what they've seen, what they've heard. So I think we also need to reach out to the sisters in our opinions and in our suggestions or advice, whatever is the right appropriate word, on how they can make the right choices, how they can overlook these pressures that they even put on themselves or external pressures put on them.
Being single presents the opportunity for you to understand who you are and what you want. I think it's a period that every woman should enjoy for as long as possible. And I think that women need to understand why they want to be married. It's if you decide for yourself that this is what you want, you can decide when you want to do it and the kind of person that you want to be with. I think that's better than allowing any other form of pressure make you be with somebody that you shouldn't be with, because honestly, truly, I don't think marriage is a joke. I think it's something very serious, and I think people should take it seriously. It is not about, oh, I'm tired of being single. You're going to be raising children, you're going to be somebody's wife, and I think you should know who you are before you decide to play any of those roles. Before
I think that's a major foundation, on which we become women. If you don't understand who you are, really, I think it would constantly be bumped on your parts of your life or your parts of your choices. So I think it's very important that you really do need to understand. I think every other thing will be based on you understanding who you are as an individual.
Yes.
You have a thought, hold it there. All right, Mickey Ufeko, it's been interesting. Oh my God, I want to keep going, but I have to quickly go on another break. And when we come back, but just hold that thoughts, okay? Okay, people, it's Sisters Talk, and the topic has been, and it's still, the African woman and the pressures of being married on or before 30. We're going on to segments we call the trendy closet tips. It's time for us to get the best tips on Denny, how nice to wear it. Stay with us.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Closet Trendy Tips. My name is Moleko Adeyinka. I'm a fashion blogger and a stylist. And today we're going to be talking about, guess what? Denim. Denim is a huge trend. It's something that I love so much. And it's a trend that really everyone can get into. It's something for the young, for the old. It depends on how you wear it. So I'm going to give you just about three tips that you can go with or you can use in order to style your denim to fit you. It's all about styling. You have to find a way to style denim or shop denim for yourself. Number one tip I'm going to give you is wear anything and size. Usually we talk about fit. But when it comes to denim, unless you're wearing something like what you want to wear, something like what I'm wearing, which is a little denim dress, fit is not really a thing, because you can wear, for instance, dungarees, which can be slouchy and free. You can wear pants, denim jeans, and all you're thinking of is your body type, because you cannot get away from it. You have to always work with your body type. And then you always have to invest in the kinds that go with your body type. But when we talk about fit, it doesn't necessarily have to fit your body closely, or the cut doesn't have to be a particular way. Another thing is if you want to transcend trends, because there are some people who like the trendy, slashed jeans and all that. If you want to do that, there's no problem with that. But if you're the kind of person who wants to go beyond that and invest in denim that can fit any time of the year, any trend, whether it's in or out, because denim is always in. But, to transcend these trends, go for washes or classics, things that are maybe dark wash pants or jeans, denim pants, dark wash dress, or even you can even pick lighter wash, denim. I've had this jacket, is actually mine. I've had it for years and it always fits into the trend. So
go for classics like this, and it will still fit into your trendy and modern wardrobe. Your body type is important, because sometimes when you pick washes like this, it tends to, lighter shades always tend to make whatever part you're wearing it on bigger. So when you wear something like this, let's take for instance, you're wearing jeans and it has a light wash. If you're heavy down, if you're pear-shaped, it tends to make you look bigger. So if you have a pear-shaped figure, or even an hourglass, if you have a heavy hips and bum, that's what I mean, you could go for washes that are dark or have balance out in the way they are distributed. Just pick washes or shades that fit your body type. Also, you could go for, if you have pear shape, heavy bottom, which is very common with us African women, pick the boot cut. Boot cut jeans or denim trousers are very versatile. They fit almost all body types. So you could go for that instead of the skinny jeans or any trend that you might see. It's better to go for something that will transcend time and is classic, and of course will bring out the best in your look. Sadly, we've come to the end of another episode of Closet Trendy Tips with Moleko Adenka. That's my name.
Welcome. It is still very much Sisters Talk, and we talking. I like the idea of Sisters Talking. I had my guest here before taking a break, and they're still sitting down here. Mickey Ufeko. I told Mickey to hold that thoughts now. If I put it on pause, then play, darling, play.
Okay. You brought up something very important, the issue of abuse. And I just want to point out that we're not saying that if you get married early you get abused. Women have found themselves in abusive relationships regardless of age. So and at the same time, we're not saying that all men are abusive.
True, that's true.
We're just saying that if you rush into a marriage situation,
you might rush out.
You might rush out. Exactly. So pretty much I just wanted us to clear that up.
The topic has been the African woman and the pressures of being married on or before 30. Now, those pressures will come whether we like them or not. In order for us to move forward, how do we continue? We've mentioned something before, understanding who you are. But it's also important that aside from understanding who you are as a person, how do you physically deal with this pressure? Do you just ignore? Because it might be coming from your mom, it might be coming from someone who's a bit more older. You don't want to come across as being disrespectful. But what is the best way to honestly put people on check so that you don't automatically fall under the umbrella of making the biggest mistake of your life?
You just deflect it.
Yeah, I don't think there is a best way.
There
are different methods of conflict resolution. It's just at that time, however you choose to deal with it. Sometimes your mood, it might even be a factor in how you respond. There is no best way. If ignoring it works for you, fine. If you grow to a point where it doesn't bother you as much anymore, that's
fine.
Good too. But really, there is no best way. Sometimes it might take a final confrontation to end a particular situation, and who is to say how you choose to do it? I just feel like whatever you feel that you can do that is polite, and if politeness doesn't work, you try something else, fine. But I don't think there is a best way to handle it, because the situations are different and they come from different people. So it just sometimes depends on how the situation presents itself.
My method is to deflect it with grace. That's what I just do. I'm very gracious when people, loved ones, well-meaning, they're praying for you. You just smile and say amen.
Amen.
Okay. No need to argue. You don't need to. You just smile.
Okay. Before your last words, there is a segment of the show at this point where we say "Tell It, Sister," where we, get mails from different people. Now, if you're out there and you want to ask us something, whatever it is, there's no limit to what a sister wants to ask. All you need to do is send us a mail to SistasTalkTv@gmail.com. SistasTalkTv@gmail.com. It's that simple. Now, this is from Simisola from Lagos. She says, "Hello sisters, and thank you for the opportunity to ask this very important question. I'm a young lady in my early 30s and I just found out I am pregnant. Due to the pressures of society and expectations that I do not give birth out of wedlock, do I keep the pregnancy and marry even if I don't feel this is the right time? to have kids.
This is interesting. She's in her 30s, so I'm under the impression that she's already employed, she's already working, and she's already established some form of independence for herself. My advice to her is to really think about the pros and cons of if she doesn't have a child now. It might not happen again. I'm not saying this to be pessimistic. It's just a fact of life. By the time women hit their 30s, biological clock is ticking, etc. So she should think about it really hard.
Obviously, I don't think anybody would ask a woman in her 30s, early 30s. I personally wouldn't think it would be a good idea for her not to have the baby. I think she should have the baby, you know.
She's in her 30s already.
Yeah, she's in her 30s
already. Yeah, I think she should have a baby, but I don't think she should let herself be pressured into being married just because of that. You don't have to make. If you make one mistake, you don't have to make another. Well, ultimately, that's her
ultimately,
choice.
she would have to think about how she wants to not have the child, because you know there's not just one way. She could always give the child up for adoption if she.
Okay,
chooses.
Semisola, you're in your 30s, and like the sisters have spoken, at the end of the day, you've got a very. It's not a difficult choice to make, really. It's a bit challenging because you're in a situation where I'm not sure if you have the financial backing to raise a child. But whatever it is, you might want to reach out to Mama. If Mama is not there, there are aunties and mentors who might just be around to support you at this point in time. But lady in her 30s, you might want to keep the child. That's my honest opinion. Ifueko, you say something to, our supposed loved ones out there who are actually pressuring, young ladies. And then, Mickey, you say something to ladies who are
being pressured.
Yeah.
Women of all ages who are being pressured to get married, just know that you have a choice. It's not necessary that you get married ever, and it's not necessary that you will get married right now. So just be patient. Make sure that you choose the right partner for yourself, and make sure that you are true to yourself as well. If you have any doubts, I think you should find someone that you can talk to about those doubts, but don't feel pressured to get married.
Family members who are pressuring women to be married
And strangers.
I have one word for them. They need to just stop. You need to stop. I think
back away.
You need to be more interested in the well-being and happiness of your loved one, and not just their being married.
Straight to the point. Okay, I wish we could go on and on and on, but I'm sorry. That's why we gotta go. In fact, I want to say thank you, Mickey. I want to say thank you for making out the time out of your busy schedule and coming, Soon enough, we'll be wearing our sherby. I hope that's not pressure.
There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. I love you. And now join me among those who pressurizing you. It's been on the topic, the African woman and the pressures of being married on or before 30. Now, what I'll say to you is never give in. Do what's right for you and be smart. We round off the show by wise words from Mrs. Ajala.
Wise words are hard work never kills. In this era where we have a lot of people that want shortcuts to arrive at riches, and they think hard work is for the old-fashioned people, it's important to let people know that you work hard, you see the results. It never kills you. Also, another set of wise words I would want to also leave is be the change you want to see. Many times it's easy to quickly criticize and to condemn things that you have no idea how it is. Shoes you've never walked in, you are quick to condemn. It's just like what we're going through in Nigeria now. What is the government doing? What is the president doing? Nobody is walking in his shoes. It's quick to condemn. But in your own little corner, the change you want to see, start with yourself. Be the change you want to see. And if each and every one of us begins to do that, the entire change will eventually